Alert. Excessive combat activity will put unacceptable strain on your body.
Shut up!
Negative. This support unit is assigned to Yorha Unit 9S. As such, being concerned for said unit's well-being is a requirement.
Whatever. Model 210. Operator? Oh no. So this operator model is...
Volunteer to undergo Type B equipment transition. Sent to front lines as Unit 21B.
Operator!
Coordinate data. Location specified. Please keep.
Dai, cabrón.
A2.
2B told me. She told me she wanted you to become a good person.
You... Don't you dare talk to me about 2B!
Where'd he go?
Analysis. Your Unit 9S is still alive. Query. Why would Unit A2 be concerned with the status of Unit 9S after turning on your hub?
Shut up!
Siapa suruh lawan? Hahaha. Bodoh robot. Justice.
Physical check complete. Memory check complete. Maintenance mode complete. Yorha Unit 9S. Activate. Good morning, 9S.
Am I...
Analysis. The enemy structural unit collapsed during battle. Unit 9S suffered damage from the fall and was placed in emergency suspend mode. Fall location was deemed too dangerous, thus said unit was transported to current location. All system checks and reactivation complete.
Operator.
Operator Model 210 is deceased. Black box signal not found.
Oh. Situation report.
Tower access authentication key acquired. The required number of authentication keys have been acquired. The tower is now open for investigation.
Good.
Thank you for choosing Tower System Services. Tower subunit access granted. Tower subunit access granted. Tower subunit access granted. Hello, and Thank you for choosing Tower System Services. We apologize for the inconvenience, but locks on each sub-unit must have a great day. Congratulations! You've unlocked all of the sub-units. That means a special prize is waiting for you inside the tower.
Alert. Enemy caution level rising. Cause is most likely concern over Unit 9S gaining access to tower.
Out of my way! Damn it! They won't stop coming!
Alert. Allied signal detected.
Allies? Wait, you?
9S, we've been expecting you. The two of us will take things from here. You need to open the door to the tower.
Devila? Albala? What are you doing here?
Remember your promise?
What are you talking about?
Come on, 9S. Hack in while you can.
None of this makes any sense!
We'll explain everything once we're inside. We've got this, 9S. You just focus on hacking.
What's this barrier?
Analysis. It is part of a closed defensive system.
Well, how do I break it down?
Hypothesis. Unit 9S could permit this subconsciousness data to lose control. The resulting energy surge has an acceptable probability of temporarily paralyzing the barrier.
That's almost as bad as not going in at all!
What happened?
It's the barrier.
Hopala!
No, don't! You can't do anything! The wall's got a self-closing algorithm!
Devil and I, we have to atone for our sins no matter what!
But if you do that, your circuits will...
Devil! Right.
Devila!
I hope you don't regret this.
Apa dia punya scene tu based on sebab dia lawan dengan Nier dekat tu kan, replicant ke apa, fail to protect dia ke, dia fail.
That is all that remains from their personal record during the era in which they were referred to as administrators.
I see.
Query: why do the androids Devila and Popola seem to prefer death over surviving alone? There was a very high probability that at least one could have escaped.
I hope you never have to understand.
Affirmative. Query: why does this tower possess an entrance at all? All material transport takes place via aerial vehicles. It is irrational for an infiltration route to be so easily accessible. Hypothesis: entrance is a trap.
I don't care. I just have to kill them all. Corrupted Yorha units!
Hello, and thank you for choosing Tower System Services. We're so pleased you've chosen to visit the tower today. Don't forget about the special prize for the guest who unlocks the last subunit in the room just ahead. You're going to love it.
I'm gonna kill you.
The boobies.
2B models? I'm glad I got to see you here. I truly am. I'll tear you apart. Every last one of you! To me! Don't worry, I'm going to kill you now!
The structure known as the tower has opened its gate.
Let's check it out.
We 9S.
I see.
We 9. Say, did we manage to?
You did.
We 9.
I see. This is a Yorha corpse.
Hypothesis. The corpse is likely a result of Yorha Unit 9S's advance through the area.
Let's go. What's the purpose of this structure?
Unknown. Proposal. Gather additional data.
Someday I need to teach you how to be helpful.
Ni replika. Ya, faham. Tapi still tak apa relation yang ni dengan yang ni replicate event dengan yang ni. Aku nak tengok lore tu. Ada reference tapi aku tak dapat nak find dia.
What's up with this place?
Hypothesis. It is a representation of a library.
What's that?
A library is a data storage facility constructed by past human civilizations.
I suppose we have to hack in to look at the data, yeah? Help me out, Pod.
Affirmative. Hacking interface access rights granted to Yorha Unit A2.
Peachy. This tower looks like a data gathering system for the machines. These records are from the human server on the moon. The machines hacked that deep into the system, huh?
Hindi ko dapat identify.
Some records on old humans. Damn it, this is useless. There's too many of them. Huh? What's that? Operational summary of model number 2 in Project Yorha. This data.
I can't stop. I have to keep fighting.
Alert. Virus detected in locomotion region. High probability that infection source is transplanted parts from corrupted units. Proposal. Hack into self and eliminate virus.
On it.
Virus eliminated. 95% of functionality restored.
Yorha Unit 9S. Yorha Unit 9S. Welcome to the tower. Welcome to the tower.
You bastards!
Because you made it this far, we have a special announcement just for you.
We'll reveal it once you destroy all the machine life forms here.
Project Yorha. That means all of us. To be...
Now you know everything. Do you still wish to fight? We are conceptual human personalities created within the machine network. We cannot be destroyed. You're Unit 9S.
Keep them coming. I'll destroy them all. All of them. And this tower!
Hello Bu.
Ya, apa khabar?
Kau bini aku bahai kan?
Ha? Halo, halo.
Oh, yeah, abang. Broken thighs.
Ya, umur cepat.
Temannya.
Hello Bun.
Ya. Dengar. Buat apa?
First I
Tak ada. Nak buat apa Bun? Apa betul? Sok orang pergi mana kerja esok nak kena pergi ambil barang tu.
mengawal. Abang tak saya betul abang pergi.
Ya.
This one?
Yang ni yang mana? Ini kan yang pilotnya. Mana pilotnya? Ni Avilion.
Aduh.
Yang itu kita pilih yang
What you
ni
say?
lah.
Tak ada, aku tengah pilih hotel ni.
Hotel?
Ada suggestion pun?
Hotel nak pergi anniversary.
Oh, kau nak Sabah?
Port Dickson.
Oh, Port Dickson. Seronok ah, tengah-tengah. Have fun. Dia kata. Cuti seminggu tu.
Who are they?
Damn it!
Alert. Enemy hacking detected. Proposal. Retreat immediately.
Who are you?
Good to see you again, number 2. Or should we call it A2 now? This does bring back memories. Though the concepts like us, time has little meaning. Still, when we wiped out your forces, it made quite the impression on us. You're attacker model number 2. An experimental disposable group created as a test lab for Project Yorha.
Shut up!
You're an obstinate little android, aren't you? Didn't we say that you can't kill us?
Damn it!
Proposal.
What now?
Utilize the enemy's logical learning function to formulate a weakness.
I don't know what that means!
This pod has serious concerns about Unit A2's cognitive abilities.
Shut up and explain it already!
Said strategy would interrupt the enemy's logic circuits, causing a computational delay.
Meaning what?
Do not destroy the enemy.
Huh?
Striking at the logic circuit requires a certain number of enemies to remain extant for a certain period of time.
Oh, what the hell?
Consciousness data saturation rate, 30%.
It's also very amusing.
Consciousness data saturation rate, 60%.
The androids the human race left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. The machine life forms the aliens left behind acted as if they wanted to be human. We resemble each other so, but we are networked, and thus we are superior to you.
Hypothesis. The enemy's defensive system is prompting an evolution of its logic.
Foolish androids. Why do you resist? All things end with accepting death, do they not?
Consciousness data saturation rate, 90%.
We are one, and yet we are many. We are finite, and yet we are infinite. We are the embodiment of the perfect being.
Hypothesis. The enemy has become aware of the diversity of life.
I see it. The light. We move on. Forward. To the future.
Consciousness data saturation rate 100%. Hypothesis. The enemy's consciousness has begun to fracture.
We need more evolutionary pressure. If we allow this android to continue living, we can create even more hardship for ourselves. Overcoming the crisis this creates will present an opportunity for our kind to evolve even further. We disagree. This android is dangerous. It must be destroyed immediately. Those who would doubt our victory are enemies. Do you truly think you can win?
Damn, keseronok.
What the?
Analysis. The saturated consciousnesses are now in conflict with each other.
They're acting like humans.
Seriously still kicking?
Speculation. It is driven by remaining data located within enemy servers.
So this just keeps going until I kill them all? This thing going on about?
Analysis. It appears to be a leak of the enemy's past memories.
this junk?
Speculation. It is a resource of some kind.
Used to make what?
Unknown.
This tower is a giant cannon that's aimed at the human server on the moon. If we don't do something, all of humanity's remaining data will be destroyed.
So what? None of it matters. Or didn't you know? We aren't required in this world anymore. Humanity is extinct. That moon server you're so worried about was invented to give us androids something to fight for. And Yorha was created to perpetuate the lie. But in order to make sure no one ever learned the truth, we were designed to be killed. They built a back door in the bunker and programmed it to activate after a certain amount of time. The commander, me, 2B, sacrificial lambs. All of us. Isn't that hilarious? Doesn't it make you laugh?
9S, we...
Shut up! You killed 2B. That's all we need to kill each other.
To be hated to keep killing you. It caused her so much pain. The 9S type is a high-end model. They knew you'd discover the truth eventually, but the model designation 2B was just a cover. The official designation is 2E, number 2 type E. They were a special class of members designed to execute Yorha units. But you knew that, right, 9S?
Shut up! Shut up! What do you know? You don't know anything at all about us!
Proposal. Cease combat. Fighting her at this point would be
Pod
irrational
153. I order you to halt all logical thought and speech. This order shall remain in effect until you confirm the death of either myself or Unit A2.
Acknowledged.
Tell me where to find the virus corrupting 9S.
Affirmative. Your High Unit A2. Core data for 9S is stored ahead. Alert. Severe virus corruption. Probability of successful deletion extremely low.
I think I know a way.
The idea under consideration is not recommended. This pod is a Yorha tactical support unit. As such, it cannot approve of actions that would damage its supported unit.
You're not so bad, Pod. You know that? I'll take care of everything. Pod. Take care of 9S.
What of you, A2?
I've still got something I need to do. You go ahead.
Acknowledged.
I'm sorry. I never quite realized how beautiful this world is. I'm coming, everyone. I'm coming.
Bahasa Polak eh. Tadi bukan, tak asal jadi tadi. Shit. Nier Automata. Gua ambil ending ketiga. Dia dah masuk video. Ada lagi 2.
Dia habis semua ini.
Bos. Mana? Apa yang
ada OTD betul.
Kalau tak seronok aku tak layan lah.
Ada OTD betul.
OCD aku nak habiskan dengan bad ending dia. Tapi bad ending malah YouTube je lah.
Dia ada bad ending.
Ada. Dia
Ini belum mati ya.
mati tanpa kata apa? Unexpectednya mati. Contoh dia ni kan Android, kalau cabut OS chip dia mati kan. Dapat ending, bad ending. Contohnya lah. Pick up option dia ada chip kalau game ni untuk upgrade karakter, termasuk OS chip. Kalau cabut dia punya OS chip mati ya. Tu kira dia punya core lah, paling asas. Kalau cabut tu dia mati. So jangan sentuh benda tu.
Dia memang dalam cerita ni tak manusia lah.
Tak ada dah mendakat yang faham semua dah pupus. Lepas tu Android ni diberi kata apa, red herring lah. Untuk apa, ada motif untuk kekal hidup. What the fuck? What the fuck ni story?
Dia pun tak bisa.
Wah, aku nak lah. Udah lah, kalau mengihan aku tak tahu saya fikir apa lah. Kalau ide
Pukul 12 lah.
Ide fikir 12 entah ke mana dah. Aduh. Sat, itu macam kalau aku try buka CK dulu. Sekarang Lalang dia duduk tengah ending. Alhamdulillah. Okay, hang buka kan? Aku pun tengah buka. Aku boleh on set dah sampai pukul 12 tu. Aku pun tak nak dapat kerja ni nanya. Tak tahu lah nanti nak kerja lah pukul 12 tu.
Woi, cepat kan? Betul lah. Aku pasang ni tu.
Sebab SSD. Of course. Aku sudah open ya. Chapter select cannot be accessed. Okay. Senang sikit kalau aku nak pergi debug menu. Debug menu to replace enemy.
Aku share. Aku stream.
Range resistant woman. New topic to talk about. Find out what it is. Habis ending C. So apalah intro dia kali ni macam mana? Mesti sama.
Ni ending mana buat?
Ini ending C. Betul, sekarang target ending D lah ah. Dia ada 5 ending, A sampai E. Ending aku baru dapat apa? A, B, C yang main lah. Tinggal D dengan E. Lepas tu yang lain semua tu bad ending lah. F sampai Z.
Oh, ada F sampai Z.
22 kot. Mana dia? Okay. Dah masuk bagi tahu noh.
Ni aku dah aku cari tak jumpa nama.
Ada IMR.
Refresh.
Kalau tinggal melekit je lah Aduh, alamak. Tinggal melekit je kan.
Tinggal melekit.
Apa
yang melekit?
Geng yang untuk ni apa? Untuk nak buat empire tu. Kita tangkap melekit ni betul boleh buat empire dah.
Oh. Tak. Buat aku letak.
Wah, kita start balik. So ni load. Check to select.
Bun, buat aku tanya ni.
Tanya apa?
Bila nak kenduri?
Nak kumpul duit ni nak booking hotel nanti.
Kenduri wah.
Hai kahwin lah.
Amboi. Lepas tu apa? Kalau hampa kenduri hotel tu nanti aku bagi tahu kat mana. Muka-muka. Lambat
Jangan pergi kat Siam dah pun. Jom pun.
Aduh.
Tak ada.
Biar kan kahwin lari ya.
Kahwin lari. Kahwin dengan Indo dah pun.
Dah harap. Kahwin Indo mampu
Tak payah janji pun dah. Janji boleh bagi IC je.
Pinoy dengan cari yang comel-comel je pun.
No. Stephen by head. That's beautiful.
Cari yang loli sikit pun. 707 pun.
I am art. Ya, no. Aku try. Cik Sam aku 3579.
Sama.
Aku try lock lagi sekali kat menu. Host game. Aku load yang ni balik. Public. Okay, host game. Something humanity. Sekarang nak main balik untuk ending D. Ending D senang dapat lah sebab boleh dah boleh select chapter lah. Nice. So what? None of it matters. So aku dah.
Kalau ending D macam mana? Kena start berawal ke apa?
Tak ada yang ni dia bagi select chapter.
That server you're so worried about was invented to give us androids something to fight for. And Yorha was created to perpetuate the lie. But in order to make sure no one
aku
ever
kena
learned
mengikut
the
urutan lah.
truth,
Kali ni yang D dengan E aku nampak
to be
macam
killed.
nampak
Ada
macam
pun aku jumpa dah.
jumpa dah. Okay.
Betul? Nampak macam apa?
Oh, aku tak boleh select. Okay.
Nier.
To be sacrificial lambs. All of us. Isn't that hilarious?
9S.
Shut you. That's all.
But the mob.
Yes, kali ni aku kena pilih 9S lah. Yang sudah kurak.
The official designation is 2E. Number 2 type.
Kalau yang main aku kena main.
They were a special class of members
experience dia.
designed to execute Yorha units.
Aku tengok kat YouTube lah.
Aku lah.
Rame lah.
Aku kena experience at least yang main 5 tu.
But you
F
knew
sampai Z
that,
tu aku tengok kat YouTube je lah.
right, 9S?
Tak lah kan nak ulang-ulang. Tapi sebab dah boleh chapter select aku senang sikit lah. Kalau aku nak buat ending tu. Tengok guide je lah. Kalau aku nak completion.
What do you know? You don't know anything at all about us!
Proposal. Cease combat. Fighting her at this point would be
Pod
irrational
153. I order you to halt all logical thought and speech. This order shall remain in effect until you confirm the death of either myself or Unit A2.
Pakai perempuan sekarang nak pakai laki lah. Laki gila
Laki yang partner dia tu.
Ya, yang partner tu lah saya. Sekarang dia jadi gila lah. Ya, sekarang kita pakai laki dia gila.
It doesn't matter. None of this matters!
9S!
If it doesn't matter, why do I long for humans like this? Why do I desire the touch of something that no longer exists?
It's how we were made. Androids were designed to protect their human masters. Our core programming demands that we...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Fine. Just destroy it. If it all goes away, that'll solve it!
Apa, mari Pak Al layan spoiler sama aku.
Dua-dua mati ke pun.
Nampak gaya. Sister repair possible. Scanner humanity.
Apa lagu dia macam senyap.
Mungkin ada dengar kat mana-mana kat YouTube ke.
Macam movie punya lagu.
Lagu dia memang orang kata apa? Tematik juga lah. Ya, lagu dia basically memang agak TikTok lah.
Tu ending E pula pun.
Kalau pendek aku boleh buat sekaligus lah.
Berapa minit dia tengok kalau online ni?
8 minit, what the fuck. Apa eh? Kata kan masuk kan kan? Why loading Pak An? Baik, dia bukan mampu ya? What the fuck?
Semua Android kan?
Yes. Sama ada Android atau robot? Arah, tak boleh dapat D. Cepat gila ending eh. Dalam 5 minit, 10 minit je tak boleh dapat ending D. What the fuck?
Dapat achievement kan?
Bergantung lah. Ini tak ke? Achievement tak. Ni bahasa apa lah? Ada satu ending lagu, satu bahasa. Aku perasan tadi. Bahasa lain lah.
Report. All Yorha unit black boxes now confirmed offline. Our mission to oversee the progress of Project Yorha is complete. Proceeding to final stage of project. Commencing deletion of all data.
What the fuck? So final phase project dia eliminate semua Yorha.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Data noise present in stream. Requesting temporary halt to perform data check.
Ending ni no pun. Aku double check sebab kalau ending lagi Nara sudah korak. No. Oh ini kalau E, kalau yang ending E kena yes. Tapi itu kita buat last, so no lah. Dia loading credit itu tadi screen. What the fuck? Habis tu ke? Damn. Ending D. Okay, sudah masuk. Nak start ya? Kat speed 2 tu. Okay, sekarang
Han try buat ending dia seronok buat tengok.
Sekarang ending E lah. E aku kena main balik. Nak main balik chapter 17. Dia agak, orang kata apa? Story dia agak best lah.
Betul lah, tengok macam shock lah.
Dia agak falsafahan. Macam mana konsep of humanity dekat Android. Macam mana sama ni, mereka ni hanya mengejar red herring lah. Untuk mencapai objektif projek Yorha. Alright. Kita kena pakai 9SG sekali. Then aku kena
If we don't...
So, none of or didn't we aren't human that and you but in order they built the commit sack isn't
kena bantai
Nine-ish.
dia lagi
you
sekali
that's
lah.
all.
To be the night, but the
Hole. Kena pakai 9S lagi sekali. Let's do.
It doesn't matter! None of this matters!
9X!
It doesn't matter.
Dia jadi gila.
Why do I long for humans like this? Why do I desire the touch of something that no longer exists?
It's how we were made. Androids were designed to protect their human masters. Our core programming demands that we...
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Kalau kami pakai yang lelaki mah, memang final objektif dia nak bunuh perempuan dia. Kalau perempuan dia bunuh waifu dia.
Damn it!
Yang apa yang cover game ni yang Toby dia. Walaupun sebenarnya dia bunuh sebab apa? Yang Toby tu dah korak lah. Korak dengan virus. Time baby. Dah, tak apa, semua ni sama. Dekat ni nampak sama. Dekat ending sekejap lagi aku kena ada choice.
Ini yang kena pilih tu lah.
Aku kena buat yang scanning tadi ya.
Scanning tu lah yang mau kan.
Ya. Ni ending lastnya. Dan ending ni akan, dia kata konsekuensi dia aku akan hilang segalanya. What the fuck? Segala apa yang aku buat progression hilang. Sama macam aku main replicant. Babi dia. Sebab tu dia suruh buat last.
So that's where you are.
Yes.
To be.
He dead boy. Pew, terbang. Director game ni memang dia jenis suka buat kerja apa? Cerita-cerita yang mindfuck atau sedih-sedih ya. Aku main replika pun sama ke? Babi ni. Tak, dia karakter lain waktu era lain. Waktu yang kalau ni replicant cerita dia di apa? Di waktu tahun 3000 something ah. Waktu tu manusia diambang kepupusan. Kalau yang ni dah semua dah mampu lah manusia. Ni tahun 5000. Manusia semua dah mampu lah. Ada disebabkan apa yang jadi dekat ni replicant tu lah. So semua manusia dah mampu lah.
Aku pay respect to you.
Yes, pay respect to me. Alah, aku terpaksa koker melekit ni lah kalau nak buat Empire tu kan.
Tak apa relax lah.
Tak apa.
Proceeding to final stage of project.
Nak tengok ke kan?
Commencing deletion of all data.
Tak apa, sekarang aku dah stable lah. Nanti aku boleh buat apa? Bagi Empire kat hang. Dah kena jaga melekit lah lepas tu subjugate dia. Sebab aku boleh subjugate dia. Tak apa, aku buat ni lah. Yes, check.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Data confirmed. Personal data for units 9S, 2B, and A2 appear to be leaking out.
Pod 153 to Pod 042.
Kena lalu lagi lah sebab kata ada lagi setengah jam kan.
And delete all personal data.
What the fuck? Delete terus lah.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Personal data deletion request denied.
Pod 153 to Pod 042. Failure to parse statement.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. There was data created in my banks as I was referencing the records. I realized something.
Yes.
I have
tahu
come
kalau
to the
sempat
conclusion
habis
that I
malam ni ke tak.
cannot accept this resolution.
The destruction of all Yorha units is an essential component of the project plan. All data must be destroyed.
Pod 042 to Pod 153. Repeat. Personal data deletion request denied. Initiating data salvage.
AI dah sentient ni,
Pod
what the fuck.
153. You hoped they would survive as well, didn't you?
We lack the authority for such an action. The rules are protected by low-level systems. Salvaging data poses an unacceptable level of risk. Knowing that, do you still wish for them to survive?
Complete exchange. Yes. So kena ambil yes ya. Sebelum tu mana CK diplomacy up level tu. Force Vesselish. Oh, aku boleh Force Vesselish juga. Oh shit. Oh fuck, aku pilih no. Fuck. Babi.
Habis.
What the fuck? No. Babi, aku nak tekan yes.
Padam semua pun.
Babi, aku klik mouse nak masuk ke dalam game ni. Baru.
The defense program has initiated a purge. If this continues, our consciousness data will likely be deleted.
Pod 042
Dia ending
to
E,
Pod
tapi aku nak tengok
153.
yang mini.
We were
Dia kena buat
created
yang
to
mini game
execute
tu.
the
Yang
android's
bila tekan
Project
yes tu.
Yorha plan. We had no capacity for emotion,
fuck.
but when we six were connected and exchanged
Dah hilang semua
information,
CGG aku. Dia
something
tengok kat YouTube lah.
happened. I cannot deny the feeling of something resembling consciousness and emotion being born.
Unable to reply.
Perhaps we now understand that not everything has to have an answer.
Tapi kita tak ada juga mini game yang ni yang basically. Boleh pause tak? Okay, boleh pause. Saat aku kena tutup apa aku punya skill window saat. Okay. So dia kata complete the mini game to unlock this ending. Shooting. Die repeatedly from asking you want help. So Vito dia pun dah sedih. Kena follow dengan lagu yang sedih ke ah. Selama ni aku main mission semua red herring ya. Dia suka habiskan yang ni lah. Dia suka habiskan semua mini-game ni. Kita survive. Oh, reward ya. Aku hilang sih. Babi je game. Itu aku tengok ending guide ya. Aku tak tengok apa sebenarnya apa yang jadi. Aku tahu dia ada multiple ending, tapi aku tak nak spoiler. Ada pening kepala ke ah. Aku rasa nanti bila aku dah habis minggu ni aku kena check kat YouTube saat punya apa law lah. Macam aku tengok punya replika lah. Kalau main saja harap tak faham. Sebab dia main fuck tu ya 4D lah. Aku kena cari reference load game. Tu lah. Macam hang tengok anime betul ada benda dia tak baik tahu kan. So kena cari kat YouTube. Apa benda dia cakap lah, reference lah. Aku nak main yang ni ni ada kot reference dari game yang sebelum dia yang aku dah main Replicant tu. Tapi tak dapat 100% lah. Kena check ni. Please tembak semua ni, semua staff-staff. Dah tak boleh pakai betul kita tembak kan. Seorang nak tunjuk nak beri respect tau. Jepun lah lepas tu version aku dah. Ha? PS? PC ya? Aku nak beli kat PC ya? Kat Steam. Lama aku kena survive dengan ni gila. Dia kena hell. Oh shit, kena pause. Banyak dah benda mai. Purchase terus lah. Ini siapa? Barca. Okay, aku purchase samanya terus. Okay. Aku rasa yang ni lah lama kot duk hidup benda ni lah. Okay lah, aku sub joget dia ni dulu. Sementara aku try habis sub joget ni dulu. Lepas tu aku boleh buat empire kat hang lah. Sub joget dia. Let's go. Laju ke sikit kan? Nak habis conquest ni cepat sikit.
Tak. Bagi aku bagi kat anak cucu aku nak pergi dapat jawatan dalam kerajaan.
Okay. Nanti yang dah start beritahu. So aku nak kena control fight. Just in case. Kita main ni. Allah. Parah dah kita kena lah. Hidup lah. Aku kena survive sampai semua habis. What the fuck. Untuk dapat reward dia. Suffering. Yes, I love suffering. Ini semua masochist simulator. Suffering the game. Faham dah bahasa apa. Pause set. Lengoh. Aku speed 4 set. Oh shit. Kita conquest cepat mungkin. Lepas tu aku boleh AFK lah. Lepas aku bagi empire tu. Yang ni ending lah paling tak apa. Merenyah kan.
Ending ni lama sangat kau kena fight dengan kau.
Lama lah. Aku tak tahu berapa lama Ada takat aku dengar ada 4 bahasa. Mungkin 4 aku kena lalu 4 ending music ni dulu kot. Dan kena survive bullet hell ni. Basically aku main bullet hell the game. Okay, split. Kita split army. 14, 7. Allah, dia tak kalah lagi. Damn it. Okay, kita split conquest. Dia tak kalah lagi. Damn it. Dia nak pergi kat Damaskus ke? Kita kena prevent dia dari mendamaskusing.
Damaskus ni.
Kalau mau tanah dia pun ni pun barai. Tak boleh support 7,000 lah. Oh, boleh.
Sekarang mana ni?
Supply line. Tu melekit tu lah. Nama pun sempoi melekit.
Oh, hang serang kita punya allies.
Ya, aku dah tak ada ally dengan dia dah.
Patutlah. Dia punya bapak mati ke?
Ini kata apa? Demi Empire.
Kalau tak ada allies terus serang.
Yes. Opportunistic yang panggil.
Tunggu allies habis kan.
Serang ni. Dia ni serang bawah. Bawah Shiraz. Merebak. Kita ada 4 squad. Split jadi 2 untuk Timur dan Barat. Ada lagi Accomplished Forger. Tapi nanti yang kena jaga lah, sebab dia, Malekith ni kan kawan baik. Saya sayang lah kan. Saya kebaikan hang, bagi dia kat hang lah.
Dapat revoke dia.
Mana dia? Belah timur dia tanah tak cantik lah. Sebab kena resupply balik. Shit. Cuma
Dia kalau resupply maksudnya hang kena pergi dekat hang punya,
kena pergi kat tanah yang boleh support aku punya army lah. Sebab dia kan ada, setiap tanah dia ada max limit dia untuk resupply.
supply limit kan.
Kalau rendah dia makan hang punya supply. Kalau bila dah habis, askar hang akan turun mendadak. Kalau hang tak resupply. Yang tu ini punca kalah. Dari winning game jadi losing game. Bila hang tengok apa, askar hang dah hidup tengkorak tu, itu lah masalah, tanda supply dah habis. Yang tu konsep perang Pak kan, supply line.
Kurdo Masyriki, Call to War, siapa ni?
Oh, mana dia? Dia conquer, dia tengah civil war juga ke? Oh, dia tengah conquer bawah, patutlah. Patut dia menghilang, patut dia tak main kat aku. Okay, resupply dulu.
Just tani.
Yes. It's my job to take care of my empire. Tapi nanti semua pecah lah. Aku buat Persia atau aku kepas kat hang. Pandai-pandai jaga empire lah.
Tu hang conquer Byzantine lah.
Lepas tu aku nak buat kawan dengan Byzantine lah. Pergi sebab Zoroastrian kat sana. Lepas tu kita inject sikit lah.
Kingdom of Anatolia.
Oh, dia hantar kapal. Fuck. Okay. In case dia main ambush askar aku. Oh, jangan. Jangan mati siege. Yang ni pergi tolong. Just in case. Oh, dia pun ke pulau. Patut lah. Okay, dia nak main dah. Dia nak main. Incoming raid. Out of Bajan. Holy shit. Okay, dia lemah. Kita pergi ambush dia. Let's go Poggers. Hang ni Kilauan dia. Aku menang ni. Aku menang lah kot. Menang keseluruhan. Let's go. Mana aku punya siege unit? Ah, fuck. Supply habis. Haram habis perang terus supply habis. Jimbit. Alah, supply yang habis tu lah yang ada siege unit. Kita serang Ark of Deep. Okay, yang terperang. Ni dah resupply. Di serang Shiraz. Ni pergi serang Arak. Nanti dah habis perang ni aku speedkan 2 balik tau kan.
Okay, no problem.
Takut dia terkejut lah. Culture shock, you know. The culture seronok. Diplomat, yes. Lepas tu tiba aku dah sebelah tanah lah ni. Ada orang mampus je ni. Hari teh. Mana askar aku? Okay, dah menang. Terimalah subjugation aku. Then
Penuh dah Empire.
yeah, sudah penuh. Then I give you the title, the Persian Emperor. Oh, tapi hang tak dapat ni
Aku tak dapat.
Hang tak dapat melekit. Hang tak dapat melekit. Oh, sebab dia king.
Yang kena revolt dia dulu.
Tak boleh. Tak boleh ke? Mungkin lah. Alah. Tapi tak apalah Pak An. Dah dapat Empire jadi dah. Tak boleh macam aku boleh grant dia independent lah. Nah. So kalau nak conquer dia, subjugate ke apa, aku merdekakan dia balik.
Dia orang subjugate dia.
Buat Empire, lepas tu bagi kat hang, lepas tu grant independent kat dia balik. Yes boy. Tapi okay lah. Okay, objektif kita apa? Ultimate objektif hang dah capai Pak An. So apa hang nak buat seterusnya?
Aku dianugerahkan lah Empire ni.
Yes, atas apa? Kerja berat kamu. Kerja berat untuk mengembang di belah timur. Aku bayang kemerdekaan.
Habis aku conquer Markit ni, aku conquer belah timur, hang conquer belah barat.
Yes, itulah
Target aku conquer seluruh India.
Seluruh India. Next tu, aku punya next target mungkin Byzantine lah. Buat kawan tu. Kalau dia dah jemu, aku pau lah. Sebab aku tak suka sangat world domination ni. Aku suka lebih macam berpolitik cucuk-cucuk. Sebabkan legacy dinasti ku. Okay, biar ini aku biar lah. Aku nak power handing ni loh. Let's go. Layan lagu dia sambil macam tembok ni. Empire aku pun dah stabil. Dan mungkin dah cukup power lah kot untuk survive. Sekarang aku nak check sama ada support ya. Support Islam yang kat belah Umayyad tu. Ui, sikit je bodoh. Nasib baik. Lepas tu buat Byzantine jadi kawan. Harap. Kat mana aku nak elok? Oh fuck. Nasib baik dia hilang. Babi teh. Tembak lah. Cut off the production. Apa dah?
Spanish, nama-nama yang buat kat dia tu.
Oh, yalah.
Dia lagu tu lah, Spanish, Italian.
Worldwide lah ni. Mungkin itu untuk localization kot. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. No. Babinya peluru. Square ini. Fuck you man. Kita tembak semua ni kan. Division. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Mana aku tak nampak aku. Baru. Oh no. Yes. No. Sebab dia boleh bagi gigi. Damn, tapi aku kena main balik ke? What the fuck? No. Harus jatuh. Abang dah kena babi. I will not give up man. Aku nak tengok true ending ni. Unpop true ending. Meow. Holy shit, what the hell? Oh, fuck! Message received. You accept defeat? No. Your best want to be certain never surrender China. What the fuck? No. No surrendering. Oh, sebenarnya. Okay, ni tu dia fokus lah. Oh, lagu dia dah hybrid lah. Ujung lah kalau boleh hell. Kalau ada nak survive betul kat ujung lah. Betul kat hujung. Fucking hell. Die already please. Fuck. Ada betul pressure kat hujung. Hilang dah ni lah. Ah no, final life. Babi, aku tak boleh elok. What the fuck? So pointless, no. Tadi kata very difficult. Babi tu ni. Memang betul bullet hell ni kan. Section ni. Cuba aku kaki boleh hell tapi ini susah. Elok, dia main rapat sangat kan. Wah, nampak peluru tu dia kat situ aku. Peluru tu bergerak tu. Dia putih ya. Aku duk camping kat bawah kiri atau bawah kanan ni. Harap ni. Wah, fuck. Babi tu. You think game oscillating? No. Fuck. I saw this through the end. One thing is certain. Harap dia macam yang apa? Harap banyak tu mesej dia. Never surrender. Ni bagi apa? Ayat moral support ni. Wah, ni mungkin player link dengan mesej ni. Daripada survive benda ni, dia pun nak survive lah ni. Tak salah apa hujung dia, apa reward dia. Ha, tak tahu kan. Jadi Aduh. Kena fuck. Tolong benda ni mampu please. Ada ini susah. Wah. Untuk true ending man. True ending. God damn it. Rescue from zero. What the fuck? Set apa set help jadi senang. Oh China, Croatia, China. Offer lah. Tenuh lu. Tolong ini lah. Fikir ego. Aku tak tahu lah kalau ada beza ke tak. Tapi dia kata apa, kalau accept help akan jadi sangat senang. Trivia. Jadi trivia. Mesti dia punya penghujung dia macam apa, kayak 4D yang main apa, orang duduk dalam pelanggar tu. Dia tulis mesej kat hujung-hujung habis game. Lah. Kalau besok nampak yang tu nampak ni kan. Kalau betul, kalau mesej tu betul lah. Kalau mesej tu tak palsu, ada mesej. Wah, bunuh yang kecil-kecil tu. Fuck. Babi, bunuh tu mana? Dari mana baru? Bye. Oh, hang dah left game lah. Rescue offer receive. Try lagi sekali. Kalau tak boleh kat, kita accept lah. One more time. Serious mode. Look straight. Ada aku tengok meme. Kalau apa? Kalau jadi challenging kau, dia straight. Kalau meme biasa untuk meme baring, kita select lah. Spicy lah. Kecil ni. Telefon ni bagi 20 makin apa-apa. Dasar berkuburan. Mana kecil, nampak tulisan. Kecil dia, kena kecil ni. Kena pilih sana. Belah ni. Mati dia tulisan kecil. Tulisan kecil. Baru. Maaf ni. Semua mana ya. Power of friendship. Let's go. mana aku pula. Arah semua jadi senang pun tepat. Patut dia kena trivia. Gila aku pergi ke kapok. Oh baru dia awak. Oh no. Cuba saja. Oh no, Andre tu sudah mati. Ada pioneer dia jatuh, tak. Kalau aku habis ni masuk nanti nama aku ada. Bukan macam ni lah. Aku kalau mati-mati. Power of friendship, let's go. Kalau aku nanti selalu tutup lah. Bukan aku terima je. Oh wah, shit. Oh no, oh fuck. Ruby dah lost. Ya, tapi dah ada player ni dah terhilang dia semua. Oh no, Zero dah lost. Oh no, Zero tu. Shake the give up. Zero from USA. So, pula saya nampak tengah. Saya nampak macam payah nak mati dah ni. Oh, aku nak pecah. Nama aku animator, let's go. Tak tahu ni siapa nak hilang. Tapi kita habis siapa boleh menang seorang ni. Baru habis susah dah. Mustahil lah kalau aku nampak gaya panjang ni lah. Dan kalau nak dapat help ni kena connect online. Dah tahu orang yang dah nak habis game ni tu. Buat tak tahu. Kalah lagi. Habis. What happened?
Bun, dia tu ambil Byzantine Empire pun.
Everything that lives is designed to end.
Karakter baru ambil Byzantine.
They are perpetually trapped
What the fuck, man? Don't do
in
this
a
to me
never-ending
at this
spiral
time.
of life and death. However,
Cokolat.
life is
Cocote.
all about the struggle within this
Tak
cycle.
apa, aku nak manipulate dia secara politik. Let's go.
That is what
Aku tengok ni
we
dulu ending.
believe.
Wah, ini
Pod 153 to Pod 042. How is it going?
I am embarrassed.
Why is that?
I launched a suicide attack, and yet, here I am, still alive. I must look very silly.
yes.
Do
The
not
support
feel
bot.
bad about it.
Saya dah ikut yang
We are
karakter aku
alive
tu lah.
after
Yang tu
all.
9S tu.
And
Nice
being
dengan
alive is
A2.
pretty much a constant stream of
Support unit.
embarrassment.
Laki kan?
That concept
9S
is
tu
a
yang
bit
laki tu.
too abstract
Jadi
for me
gila
to
tu.
understand at this time.
Yang A2 tu yang
I
perempuan
will
yang bunuh
save it
waifu
in my
dia.
list of things to analyze later.
Question, Pod 042. Did the data salvage restore all of their past memories?
Yes.
And are those recovered
Oh.
parts of the same design as previous ones?
Yes.
Then, won't that simply lead us to the same conclusion as before?
I cannot deny the possibility. However,
Oh, dia dah left
the
lah.
possibility of a different future also exists.
Rage quit lah. Speed satunya pasal ke apa?
A future
Dia
is
masuk
not
ni.
given to you.
Lepas tu dia nak kena restore.
It is something you must take for yourself.
Dia revive unit lama ke? RIP itu.
Pod 153 to player. Please respond to this query. Do you, faithful player, Have anything you would like to say to
Ya,
other
tinggal
players
mesej juga.
who are suffering because they cannot finish Nier Automata?
Ya,
Everything you want to say.
ya. I'm rooting for you. Kena boleh tulis, so dia pilih lah.
I'm in your corner.
Everything will be fine. I saw this through today. I won't give up. Oh no, Chochote left the game. Popot aku. So ini Byzantine Empire. Patut tadi waktu dia player ni aku manipulate lah suruh dia join ku ke apa. Okay.
Masuk orang.
Apa? It'll be amazing. Wah, ini kau bagi support macam ni lah. It'll be amazing if you clear this alone.
Kok. Yang saja.
Ya, ini kita bawa Malaysia.
Ada Malaysia ke?
Ada.
Ada.
Rooting for you. Finish.
Pod 042 to player. Please respond to this query. You, faithful player of this title, have lost your life multiple times to make it this far. You have faced crushing hardship and suffered greatly for it. Do you have any interest in helping the weak?
Yes.
Selecting this option enables you to save someone somewhere in the world. However, in exchange, you will lose all of your save data. Do you still wish to rescue someone, a total stranger, in spite of this?
Yes.
The person you save will be selected at random. As a result, this person, who cries out for help even as we speak, may be someone you intensely dislike. Do you still wish to help?
What the fuck? Yes.
You worked so hard to unlock debug mode and chapter select, but they will no longer be available to you. Do you still wish to help?
Yes.
You may not receive thanks for your efforts. Some may say that your efforts are purely for show. Do you still wish to help?
Yes.
And you are truly sure about this?
Truly, yes.
Very well.
Massive.
In exchange for all of your data, I will convey your will to this world.
Ya, aku punya complete save kia. Hilang segalanya. Fuck my life. Hilang semua.
Automatic yang buat lah.
Ni dia saja kira menganjing kau lah. Clear semua depan aku. Babi semua item aku. Semua apa skill aku. Tara dia mendogging aku. Weapon aku. Ya. Skill aku. Tara macam ni replicant kau. Babi telalah tu dia clear habis semua aku punya ni. Tapi di sini dia ada efek. Data clear aku simpan kat server dia. Ya. Ya, clear semua rekod-rekod Intel. System. Read my save. Ya. Nah, sedih. Habis usaha aku main selama seminggu.
All of your data has been deleted.
And so, we must say goodbye. I feel a slight amount of sadness.
Sedih, pegang aku.
It is time for the final words.
Affirmative.
To all of you who spent time with this game, thank you. Thank you for playing.
Lu tengok kena main fuck. This is all just a game. What the fuck? Still complete. Oh, ni final dah. Arah dia punya intro dia sama macam ni replicant bodoh. What the fuck? Gamak pedang kat situ. Fuck my save gone. RIP. Ada ya. GG brother. Aku dah apa? Decisionnya tak ada utah balik. Ya. So dia nak buat replik apa? Ending E ni dia nak AI tu jadi sentient, dia nak rebate balik Yorha tu lah. Tapi khawatir akan jadi benda yang sama. What the fuck? So dia kena looping lah. Rip looping. Bakari kat bawah Emirate tu. Okay. Ni auto ajuran. Oh, dia join Zoroastrian bawah tu. Auto ajuran. Nice.
Banyak lah punya negara-negara yang Islam jadi murtad.
Murtad seluruh tu lah. Okay. So aku clean up yang ni dulu. So ni Automata ni memang tak dibuat apa dah. Semua save dah hilang lah. Aduh. Sama macam aku punya ni replicant. Bila habis tu rasa kosong nak RAM. Apa pun dah tak ada dah. Setting. Tak ada apa dah. GG. Sudah tiada apa-apa dah. Kalau new game, habis lah. Aduh, GG brother. Okay, habis. Yang ni sudah habis ni Automata. Walaupun data save tak ada dah, tapi at least nama aku akan kekal kat server mereka selamanya.
Ya, semoga ada legacy lah.
Ya, philosophical ending. So at least aku boleh ni dah apa? Aku add to favorite. All time favorite lah ini. Finish. Add to finish. Mungkin malas lah nak replay. Tapi memang ni all time favorite lah. Salah satu. Uninstall. Yes. Uninstall. Habis sudah.
Nak install punya lambat. Nak install set.
Itulah SSD. Adai.
Ya pun. Bagi laju sikit pun boleh tak?
Boleh. Awak, siapa yang set satu? Aku rasa player tadi kot yang masuk tu.
Yang masuk tu dia keluar.
Then aku pindah ni pergi kat window, main window balik. Generic 0. Okay. Puas hati. Tapi aku kena tengok sikit video. Cari sikit lah. Dan tengok orang ni sesara agak. Tengok orang ni sesara
permeation,
main
that's where it
Automata
actually will evaporate through the tubes. Because
tengok ada orang nak main live ke?
Mungkin ada. Ni aku dah. Ni aku. Dia how Nier Automata tell the ultimate humanist fable. Susah Itu spoiler. So ini aku pindah pergi kat.
These days, it's easy to feel like life has become a never-ending fight for survival. Wake up, go to work, hate life, come home, take the edge off, rinse, repeat.
Okay,
the cycle never ends.
Sekarang ke 11.30.
So when the crushing pointlessness of this kind gets you down, it's only natural to want to indulge in some kind of coping mechanism. It's one of the many reasons I like video games so much. And if you're watching this video, I bet you feel the same way.
Kopi punya moment. Dah habis game tu rasa kosong sangat.
In one context, rote, day-to-day repetition can be a source of anxiety, depression, hopelessness. But when we change the context to video games, these repetitive mechanical acts can have an entirely different effect on how you perceive the world. By changing our perception of reality, games have the power to help us find joy and purpose in even the most unexpected places.
Aku dah independent hang pun aku dapat aku kos dia banyak.
Mechanical foundation, the combination of interactivity and repetitive action, to deliver an explicit message to the player. Which is why Nier Automata is one of the most meaningful and moving games I've ever played. This game has already gotten lots of praise and even more analysis and critique, but 18 months after release,
macam still baru kan. So orang tak fully lagi ada. Ada tu orang tercucuk orang belakang.
I'm Michael Seba, and I produce video essays about the transformative potential of games, movies, and pop culture. A series I call Dreaming in Neon. Come with me if you want to live, because this is a story about the joy of being alive. A story that could only be told by a video game.
War of the Roses antara dinasti yang sama kan?
Mereka satu keluarga.
House lain kan?
Everything that lives is designed to end.
Macam Civil War
We
antara
are
family
perpetually trapped
in a never-ending spiral of life and death.
Sekarang ni aku main sikit-sikit sambil
Is this a
tengok video
curse?
macam ni, video
Or some
kopi
kind
ni.
of punishment? I often think about the god who blessed us with this cryptic puzzle, and wonder if we'll ever have the chance to kill him.
It might sound silly to think that a video game like Nier Automata has anything profound to say about these big-picture questions of existence. This is an over-the-top spectacle action game starring sexy Harajuku goth ninjas, equal parts pitch-black humor, and hyper-violent ballet. Calling the game's tone uneven is being charitable. Now, if you're as overly familiar with Japanese pop culture as I am, then these wild juxtapositions in tone might not seem so strange. But Nier Automata takes it to an extreme.
Any dark mission. Defense dark.
These different tonal elements clash so hard that this game just shouldn't work. And yet, when you scratch beneath the surface and engage with Nier Automata's story, themes, and systems, a more complicated picture emerges. The game invokes and then subverts philosophical concepts drawn from 3,000 years of human history, both Eastern and Western. Nier Automata's story repeatedly references famous philosophers and schools of thought, and then takes them to their logical conclusion and deconstructs them using the game's far-future sci-fi setting. The question, what if robots were like humans, has been asked in fiction many times already, and Nier Automata has no interest in beating this dead horse. This game is far more interested in using its sci-fi premise to interrogate exactly what makes us human in the first place, our ideals and values, and consciousness itself. The game's themes ask a difficult question that has no easy answer. Can we ever resolve the big questions about the meaning of life, or are we just clinging to superstitions that provide structure to a meaningless existence? And most importantly, Nier fully understands and celebrates how its unique perspective can only be expressed in one medium: video games. Nier Automata is set on Earth, but in the far future wasteland of 11,945 AD during the 14th Machine War. These are big, impressive numbers that might make you think there's tons of lore and history here, but they're barely explained or given context. The year 11,945 is one of the game's handful of oblique references to World War II, but these dates are otherwise completely arbitrary, which drives home the mythic and near-religious nature of this long-running conflict. Nier Automata presents us with a world filled with artificial beings, where a mysterious plague and invasion of alien machines have wiped humanity from the Earth. The last remnants of human civilization are gone, fled to a hidden base on the moon. To beat back the invasion, humanity deploys Yorha, an army of advanced combat androids who wage an unending war against the alien machines. The machines are blocky rust buckets that recall vintage 1950s sci-fi films. On the other side, the sleek, elegant, and attractive androids are built in humanity's image. They are seemingly identical to their parents, with a single shared reason for existence that also serves as their rallying cry: glory to mankind.
Hindu Said, what the fuck?
The war between androids and machines raged for thousands of years, eventually grinding to a stalemate, with both factions locked in an endless back-and-forth struggle. The humans who created the androids and the aliens who built the machines are all conspicuously absent from this conflict, while their children fight an eternal proxy war on behalf of their creators. In Nier Automata, life itself has become artificial. Now, before we dive much further into this analysis, we first need to talk about Yoko Taro.
Nier Automata T-shirt! Nier Automata T-shirt! Square Enix!
Taro is that ultimate rarity in the world of video games, an auteur. He's a creator with a distinct vision that's always front and center in his work, starting with his very first game, 2003's Drakengard, or Dragon Dragoon in Japan. Taro has dark sensibilities. His games deal with very grim themes like genocide, emotional and physical abuse, religious fundamentalism, and characters who, despite their innate goodness or efforts at redemption, almost always suffer unhappy and bitter endings. But this heavy subject matter is the furthest thing from being edgy for edgy's sake. These themes are always used in service to a larger point. When so much of our gaming entertainment revolves around pointless destruction and the ruthless killing of hundreds or thousands of opponents, is a stereotypical happy ending appropriate, or what we really deserve? This is a question worth asking, and very few games seem to find time for it.
Why did you come here? Well, I'll tell you then. You enjoy all the killing. That's why.
Taro's games often ask us to be sympathetic to villains that are every bit as flawed and complicated as the heroes, driving home the senselessness of the slaughter that the player is committing. His games are like lovingly crafted cult classic B-movies. They rarely sell blockbuster numbers, and they're always a little rough around the edges. But there's an undeniable level of thoughtfulness and artistry that went into their creation. And for his part, Taro is humble and self-deprecating, and even seems a little uncomfortable with the notion that he's any kind of auteurist figurehead. He rarely appears in public without his trademark mask, a rounded skull with a rictus grin. He's the kind of guy who even does interviews entirely via sock puppet. In his 2014 GDC talk, Making Weird Games for Weird People, Taro actively pushes back against the notion that game stories have to be told in the traditional Hollywood style of a 3-act arc with rising and falling tension. Instead, he approaches the writing and development process by asking how best to evoke emotions in the player and move them on an unconscious, even spiritual level.
Players will play the game and hopefully feel something, an emotion. I design games and write stories, but my goal is to cause an emotional stir inside the player's brain. So, the fundamental goal isn't inside the game sitting in the middle. It's the event that occurs inside the player's brain. This is the goal we must consider most important.
His games don't try to tell an easily understood story that can be transcribed onto a wiki page and then neatly strung together in a lore synopsis video. Trying to analyze Taro's games purely through their stories and lore actually makes them more difficult to understand and ultimately more unsatisfying to play. This isn't my interpretation or extrapolation. Taro himself has said that the moment-to-moment plot details of his games are basically nonsense, and that his games are not written in the usual linear fashion. Instead, Taro approaches a story with the main theme or emotional message he wants to deliver, and then works backward from there, filling in the blanks as he goes. This is especially apparent with Nier Automata, and it's why most of the analysis I've seen of this game so far has pretty much missed the mark. If you only focus on the story or lore, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger themes and ultimately the message the game is trying to express to the player. Taro is not trying to sell you the latest update to a product you've already bought before. He's a game maker who wants to directly address you, the player in front of the screen. And toying with and subverting the expectations of that audience is one of Taro's main storytelling devices. Taro's vision as a game director had been constrained to mostly small to medium budget projects for the better part of 2 decades. Then, by some miracle, Square Enix gave the green light to a big budget, far future sci-fi sequel to the PS3 game Nier, which was itself a spin-off of the original Dragon Guard series. The sequel would be directed by Taro and developed by Platinum Games, a studio founded by former Capcom devs who have an impeccable pedigree when it comes to stylish action games. The stage was set, and the right pieces were in place for something amazing to happen.
Kalau ada pun tak dipakai sebab semua apa? Islam punya building ya, Asy'ari punya building.
Before Nier Automata even begins, it breaks the fourth wall and addresses you, the player. During the installation screen, you're prompted to choose a response to a handful of questions, with each new question asking you to further interrogate your last response. From its opening moments, the game is asking the player to confront its central theme, the struggle to find meaning in existence. And once you answer this handful of questions, the prompts return to the beginning and repeat until the installation is complete.
In a never-ending spiral of life and death,
It suggests a certain futility in ever finding a definitive answer to the meaning of existence. No matter how certain you are in your belief system, there's always another question, another angle, that might make you reconsider. When the main characters, Yorha androids 2B and 9S, arrive on Earth at the start of the game, the player soon finds that the so-called 14th Machine War is nothing like the epic struggle established in the intro. Each quest or cutscene reveals a new twist. Androids are deserting their posts left and right, falling in love with each other, getting high on synthetic stimulants, and learning how to cook. Meanwhile, the machines appear to have gained a limited form of sentience and are imitating the social behavior of Earth's former human inhabitants, becoming more and more like the advanced androids in the process. As the game progresses, the story gains context and weight from these small, humanizing moments. And like the plot, the gameplay also functions as a mosaic of smaller details forming a bigger picture. Nier constantly switches between different mechanics and perspectives. There's the main third-person slash-em-up gameplay, sequences that play like a top-down twin-stick shooter, side-scroll platforming sections, vertical and horizontal shmup levels, and even a text adventure. The game's story also changes from one playthrough to the next. After completing your first run of the game as the character 2B, you start a second playthrough as a new character, 9S. And once you're finished with the second playthrough, you'll start the third as A2. This cycle of repetition provides the player with not only different combat mechanics, but also a new point of view and perspective on the game's plot. Fresh exposition and plot details offer new context and new interpretations for a story you thought you already understood. Enemies who seemed crazy or psychopathic in one playthrough are revealed to be perfectly understandable and even sympathetic the next time around. The experience drives home that this is an artificial world where nothing has a fixed meaning and nothing is what it seems. No matter what kind of preconceived notions you have about this game and its over-the-top, melodramatic anime narrative, Nier will subvert those expectations and turn them on their head. As the story unfolds, 2B and 9S discover that small groups of machines have begun to assume a crude form of consciousness, imitating past human societies and forming their own small pockets of civilization. And among each of these machine collectives are unique robots that have inherited the names and beliefs of famous philosophers from throughout human history. The game is both critical and subversive of these different theorists and their ideas, and it doesn't try to hide it. Whether they're an NPC, a boss fight, or a quest giver, these philosophers are obstacles to be overcome, and they almost always come to an unhappy end. So if we're going to deconstruct this game properly, we first need to take a step back and look at the whole of the work, and the sum of the different ideas it's trying to express.
Rest in peace,
the
waifu.
Gestalt.
Whoa!
Project Gestalt.
In one of the very first quests in the game, you're asked to fetch spare parts for an android shopkeeper who can't leave his post due to a broken leg. After completing the quest, 9S and 2B ask the shopkeeper why he still hasn't replaced his leg, especially now that he's been supplied with plenty of fresh components. He responds with his own question. Over many years and even more battles, he's replaced every single part in his body, except for his still broken leg. If he replaces this last original part of himself, does he really exist anymore? Or has he become a different and entirely new person? This is a famous philosophical riddle known as the Ship of Theseus paradox. It originated in ancient 1st century Athens when the historian Plutarch posed this question. The Ship of Theseus, from Greek mythology, is on display in a museum. As the pieces of the ship are repaired and replaced down through the years, is it still the same ship after every original part has been swapped out? Plutarch didn't know it at the time, but his paradox is also relevant to human biology. Like the Ship of Theseus, the cells in the human body continuously die off and regenerate. If you're 30, there are no original cells left in your body from when you were 10. So if there's nothing left of you from 20 years ago, are you really still the same person you were at age 10? For our robot shopkeeper, the prospect is scary enough that he refuses to fix his broken leg, forcing him to spend the rest of his days squatting in the resistance camp. The Ship of Theseus is a paradox that strikes at the very heart of existence, and it's no coincidence that it's the theme of one of the first quests in Nier Automata. The game is foregrounding these ideas for the audience, planting seeds, and inviting you to pay attention to the deeper message. Simone de Beauvoir was a 20th century French theorist who wrote The Second Sex, which is considered to be both an important philosophical text in its own right and one of the first major works of 20th century second wave feminism. In it, de Beauvoir theorized that the female gender, the notion that women are somehow innately separate to or different from men, is not an objective fact of nature. Rather, women's status as a separate sex is socially constructed and reinforced by changing societal norms that are not rooted in biology or hard science. De Beauvoir argued that our ideas of womanhood and femininity are instead determined by an external view, or gaze, the gaze of society, specifically men. For de Beauvoir, womanhood is just a performance, complete with its own costumes and makeup. And crucially, the female sex can only exist as the other side of the coin to manhood, which is also a performance, but one that's treated as the default standard view. In Nier Automata, Simone appears as the boss of the amusement park zone, and during the second playthrough, we learn her backstory. She fell in love with the robot philosopher Jean-Paul, but he did not love her back. Desperate for his affection, she cannibalizes the other machines around her and festoons herself with their parts. Just like her real-life counterpart theorized, Simone is performing femininity for a man in order to be seen and validated by him. But unlike the real Simone de Beauvoir, the object of her affections just doesn't give a damn. This references the similarly troubled real-world relationship between Simone de Beauvoir and Jean-Paul Sartre, only in an ironic reversal. The real de Beauvoir and Sartre had an open, polyamorous relationship, but Sartre was often jealous of de Beauvoir's other partners and would try to seduce them. During the boss battle against Simone, there's even a sequence where the game takes control of the camera away from the player, while the boss begs the player to look at them. This was the moment that made me sit up in my chair and realize this game might actually be goddamn brilliant. Regardless of which way you move the right analog stick, the camera resists the player's input. You cannot look at her, no matter what. Simone is performing her gender, but no one is watching. Not Jean-Paul, and not the player. Blaise Pascal was a 17th century French mathematician and philosopher who wrote several groundbreaking texts on geometry and probability theory. He is most well known for his collected writings on Christianity and religion, Pensées, or Thoughts. In Pensées, he makes the argument now known as Pascal's wager, which drew on his background as a mathematician and statistician. If it's impossible to either prove or disprove the existence of God, how can we decide whether or not to believe in a supreme being? For Pascal, statistics and probability suggest that we should believe in God. If we're wrong, nothing happens when we die. If we're right, we enjoy an eternity in heaven. But if we disbelieve in a God that does exist, then our punishment is eternal suffering in hell. This is, at its heart, an argument rooted in fear. The fear of death, and fear of hell as a punishment after death. Pascal in his wager suggests that this fear of God's vengeance should motivate us to live pious and virtuous lives. Pascal makes an appearance in Automata as the leader of a group of pacifistic machines who have disconnected from their network. They broke off to form a communal village in the forest and dedicate themselves to peace and non-violence. Late in the game, the village comes under attack, and Pascal flees to a nearby factory along with the village's children. After Pascal and the player fight off a horde of murderous machines descending on the factory, we return to their underground hideout and witness a scene of horror. Pascal's children have all committed suicide. He realizes that, in educating the village's children, he made a mistake. He taught them the concept of fear, thinking it would keep them safe and help them avoid danger. Like his real-world counterpart, Pascal believed that virtuous existence requires a fear of powers greater than yourself. But this same fear also poisoned his children, causing them to kill themselves before the rampaging machines could. And what book does the player deliver to the machine Pascal right before the tragedy unfolds? Pensées. Fear of death is no way to live.
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it? That's what it is to be a slave.
Jean-Paul Sartre lived in France during the early 20th century and is considered one of the West's most famous modern philosophers. He published Being and Nothingness in 1943, which is a foundational text of the existentialist school of philosophy. Existentialism explores human consciousness and asks whether our existence has any inherent, innate meaning. Sartre's existentialism has a single, simple starting point. Existence precedes essence. That is to say, an individual person's free will and lived experience defines the world for them in ways that are unique for that person. Every person's existence is unique, which in turn gives us all our own unique essence. This means that the first and only thing humans can be 100% sure of is our own existence and consciousness. For Sartre, individual consciousness is the answer to the existentialist riddle and proof that humans possess free will. Sartre appears in Nier Automata as a top-hatted robot in Pascal's machine village. He spends so much of his time on screen spouting ponderous, self-centered philosophy that our protagonists show open contempt for him and his ideas. His questline revolves around delivering him love notes from adoring fans, but Sartre is completely self-absorbed and refuses to consider the world outside his own head. At the end of the quest, Sartre disappears. He has forsaken everything and gone off in pursuit of some ultimate truth. This is a direct satire of the self-absorbed and highly individualistic nature of existentialism, but also of how the real-life Sartre was pretty terrible to the women in his life.
Aku lupa lah. Aduh.
During the latter half of the 18th century, the German theorist Immanuel Kant produced various works that went on to form the backbone of modern philosophy. He was a prodigious writer on the topics of ethics, art, politics, and the intersection of science and philosophy. Kant's most famous work was his 1781 book, Critique of Pure Reason. In it, he asserts that the ability to reason, how we process information and make value judgments about the world, is the essential component of the human experience. For Kant, the human mind and intellect are what provide structure and meaning to our everyday life. But Kant also believed that, at the root of everything, the universe was made by God and exists regardless of our attempts to interpret it, what he describes as the Ding an sich, or the thing in itself. In Nier Automata, Kant appears as the reborn king of the forest zone. In order to safeguard his people and ensure their prosperity, the Forest King dies so he can be reborn as the egg child, Emmanuel, and continue leading his kingdom. Towards the end of the game, we learn that the Forest King's plan was apparently a failure. Emmanuel is stuck as an egg child, never hatching or growing older. The thing in itself may exist, but it isn't enough to restore the Forest Kingdom to its former glory. Søren Kierkegaard was a 19th century Danish philosopher and theologian who has an extensive body of work covering topics like organized religion, the ethics of Christianity, psychology, and poetry. Kierkegaard's writing was considered to be the precursor to existentialism. He argued that human individuality was a real and concrete thing, thanks to our ability to reason and choose between right and wrong. For Kierkegaard, this concept of humans as the rational animal was far more compelling than the abstract theories of consciousness popular among his contemporaries, like Goethe and Hegel. Kierkegaard also wrote many books and essays on the Christian religion, where he argued that the existence of God is a subjective truth that is impossible to either prove or disprove. Belief in God is one of many choices that must be made by rational and self-aware people. He was also fiercely critical of religious institutions like the National Church of Denmark, which he saw as a kind of cheap Christianity that provides worshippers with the comfort of strict rules and doctrines, but little in the way of spiritual fulfillment. So it's deeply ironic that Kierkegaard appears in Nier Automata as the Pope-like figurehead of a breakaway sect of Catholic-seeming robots dressed like they're straight out of the...
Arcane animation test, what the fuck? Ah, concept lah. konsep sudah buat arcane ya. Itu je. Damn, cepat tu habis. Maliki of Africa. Kita bagi dia Malikat of Africa. Kecil je. Jujur Invade Kingdom. Negotiate Alliance. Alamak, Adal dengan ni berpecah lah. Dia pun bukan buat Empire lah. Brother Passion. Ada kuene. Oh, sana pun dah ada Islam dah, kuene. Kat Afrika. When you play a death core on desert.
More snuffy and water. Every time we run, why do we always end up getting drenched? I mean, feathers are a bitch to dry.
Every time being our grand total of once.
Pati PC. Merah permanjang ini slime. Jersey. Ini Ahura Mazda. Berani ini buter. Ini geng-geng buter. Berani lawan sama saya. So tanah ni ada 8,888,777. Not bad lah. Supply line dia not bad. Kita lawan dia. Betul yang ni. Satu kat sini, satu kat sini. Betul legacy. Kekalkan legasian dia. Oh no, anak dia mati. Anyway. Oh, tak mati. Haram. Lihat juga anak dah. Castilia, Konstantin. Haram, Konstantinier. Mari menuju ke Konstantinier. Pemuka basah. Kita takluk keseluruhan. Let's go, Pogus. Sementara tu kita berpolitiking lagi. Oi, dah pukul 12 dah. Ni Pak An. Nantilah kita sambung. Aku save ni lah. Okay, tadi kita free, kita main lagi.
Okay.
Alright. Pun end dulu lah stream ni. Okay, baik. Selamat malam Pak An. Have a nice sleep. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum. Ni. Putus call. Jadi kita stay sajalah. Tak ada apa dah. Alright. Kita ni dulu. End stream dulu lah buat masa ni. Bye-bye.